Aurez-vous l'obligeance de répondre à ma question en tant que Premier ministre ou allez-vous encore diaboliser mon média?
J'ai partagé ma perspective sur ton organisation hier soir. J'ai plus rien à dire. I won't call it a media organization. Your group of individuals need to take accountability for some of the polarization that we're seeing in this country. And I think
the level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is...
Are you kidding? Let's go. What is this?
When he vandalized churches. They're burning churches and vandalizing them, and you're not calling it a hate crime.
You deserve a government that's going to continue to say, get vaccinated. And you know what? If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train beside vaccinated people.
Adam Soos here for Rebel News, and under Justin Trudeau, the Liberal Party of Canada seems either to be entirely inept, trying to hide something, or a little bit of both. It is quite simply an absurd task as an independent journalist to attempt to cover this government. Clearly, Justin Trudeau's admiration for the basic dictatorship of China extends to his treatment of Canadian media.
Admiration I actually have for China. Because their basic dictatorship.
Generally, with most parties, if there's a media availability, you simply show up, they recognize your media, you get to ask your question, you film the event, and you leave. Under the Liberal government of Canada, they have done things entirely different, particularly with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau or his entourage, including a visitor last week to Calgary, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland. They have these events. First of all, you don't hear any of the details. Maybe a day in advance you'll hear that she is coming. And then the morning of, you might have some loose details about what's going on. In this case, the information we received was that there would be 3 sort of events within the city. Under location, there was simply a phone number to contact, and once you called, they might or might not give you the location. 2 of these 3 stops throughout the day were blanketed off as pooled media, effectively. And what that means is only a few outlets or a few cameras get to go in, and they're meant to share that content. What that does effectively is prevents them from facing tough questions from a broad or wide array of audiences. They only let in friendly media outlets who aren't going to ask tough questions, and those are the people they pick and approve. Media pooling can make sense if, for example, people are traveling along on a tour with a politician or on a flight or in an environment with security measures that need to be implemented. But generally, when you're having an event in a wide open audience where people can attend en masse and there's plenty of space, you wouldn't generally do media pooling. It just doesn't necessarily make sense. But the Liberals have used it as a mechanism to exclude people. So already we have the locations not being disclosed and 2 of the 3 events being blanketed off under this pooled media category. Well, once we finally got a phone number for someone on location at the media event that was intended to be open, they said that they weren't actually disclosing the location and that they had switched it. The schedule was wrong. This final location too would be pooled media. This is status quo. This is the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, for whatever that's worth, Chrystia Freeland, not available to answer media in Calgary whatsoever. Her, a member of the elected government, supposedly representing these people here in Calgary, unwilling to answer any questions, only allowing her media friends in. Very problematic, very troubling, and not how a democracy is meant to function.
And quite frankly, I won't call it a media organization, your group of individuals need to take accountability for some of the polarization that we're seeing in this country. And I think Canadians are cluing into the fact that there is a really important decision we take about the kind of country we want to see. And I salute all extraordinary, hardworking journalists that put science and facts at the heart of what they do and ask me tough questions every day, but make sure that they are educating and informing Canadians from a broad range of perspectives, which is the last thing that you guys do.
The lack of reverence for Canadian voters and the lack of reverence for the media outlets, whether independent, state-funded or otherwise, that they watch and they trust to ask questions and get them information, is seemingly spelling the downfall of the Liberal Party of Canada and Justin Trudeau politically in this country. It seems, after all, that Canadians will demand accountability from their politicians and access for media outlets to ask the tough questions that need answers to. I, for one, am very happy to be one of the reporters that is going to continue having his boots on the ground, continue working hard, and continue asking questions to tell the other side of the story on your behalf. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Soos. We need more than one state-funded media line holding these governments to account, otherwise they become entirely corrupt. So we're actually taking on Justin Trudeau, and you can learn more about that at we'resuingtrudeau.com.